If you're new to this channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Logan. This is Timeless Personal Growth and Development, and today we're talking about child development, helicopter parenting. If you've never heard of helicopter parenting, it's a common parenting trend that's been around probably the last 20, 30 years. Closely has followed the last generation of parents. Well, basically, a helicopter parent is a parent who pays extremely close attention to a child or a children's experiences and problems, particularly at educational institutions. It can be very problematic, and the issues that occur is children who grow up with helicopter parents have one of the common traits that they have and they grow up and end up having is a lot of anxiety. Why? Well, because helicopter parenting involves a lot of hovering, like a helicopter, over their kids, over what their kids are doing, what their problems are, and it causes a constant need of interference in anything their child is doing. So they don't learn to solve problems on their own. They don't learn to attack the world and be able to navigate the world on their own without their parents' interference. And at a certain point in life, yeah, your parents aren't going to be around, right? Yeah. So you're going to have to navigate the world on your own. Of course you're going to have to do that. But having your parents' constant interference over everything you do prevents you from building that autonomy, be able to do things on your own. So simple things as education, always making sure kids are doing their homework. Yes, that's not a bad thing, but when your parents are actually doing your homework for you to that degree, that's not okay. That's really detrimental. When you're at a social gathering, your parents are almost kind of, someone's asking you a question, trying to have a conversation with you, your parents are kind of talking for you or expressing their opinion of what they think is best for you and not letting yourself express your own opinion. And maybe you'll have your own ideas of certain topics for certain situations or certain things that you want to do in your own life, and your parents don't give you that freedom to be able to just express yourself because they think that they know what's best for you, because they're constantly hovering over you. And it causes a great deal of anxiety, and it causes a great deal of detachment from the child to the parent. But anybody who's had a difficult time with helicopter parents, and this is the part you guys really need to listen to and pay attention to, this part is that the helicopter parenting, the attention, the overbearingness that they put on you, it's not about you, it's about them. Well, what creates a helicopter parent? Is it their personality? Is it how they were taught to parent from their parents and from their parents and their parents? No, it's not. It all roots and all stems from the parent's own anxiety. It has nothing to do with the kids. So if you've been brought up with a helicopter parent, just be aware, and I want this message to sink in clear. It's not about you. You haven't done anything wrong. Your parents are constantly interfering because, not that you're not capable of doing things, you're perfectly capable. They're not giving you that freedom and that distance to be able to do things on your own because they're fearful. Your parents are the one that's fearful, and it's an own anxiety and an own issue that they haven't solved in their own head. Maybe helicopter parents came from a background and came from a childhood where their parents were actually very neglectful of them. That could be the case. And so they make sure they don't do the same mistakes their parents did by neglecting them, and they decide in their heads and decide that, well, I'm going to be the most involved. I'm going to be the most like overbearing, involved parent that I'm going to be, and I'm going to be part of my child's life forever. I'm going to be involved, engaged in everything. I'm going to be involved in everything, and I'm going to do exact opposite from what my parents did. And you see the problem there? It's binary extremes. They grew up with a very neglective parent, so yeah, I'm not going to do those same mistakes. Of course not. So what happens? They go to the other extreme by being too overbearing and being too involved and not knowing how to detach, and not knowing when to back off and distance themselves, so they become a helicopter parent. But it's not, and this is where you have to have a little sympathy with helicopter parents. Is they're not trying to be mean. They're not trying to be, yeah, I'm going to be overbearing and I'm going to drive my child crazy. Yeah, I'm going to get them so tired of me, and it's not that. They don't think of words like overbearing and interfering. In their head, in their mind, it's, I'm just trying to help my child. That's all it is. They're just trying to help them. They're not trying to be a crappy parent. They're not trying to be overbearing or controlling. That's not what they're trying to do. They're just trying to help, and they're trying to be a good parent. And they care about their children. They care about being a good parent. And that's very important to them. But what they fail to see is that they don't see how overparenting can be a problem. And that's basically, essentially, helicopter parenting is a funny word for it. Like a helicopter that hovers, but it's basically an over-involved parent. That's all it is. An overprotective parent. It's the same thing. That's all it is. You just throw a funny little label on it. But it's someone just who's over-involved. They want the best for their kids, but what they fail to realize that sometimes what's the best for them is to be able to back off and detach at a certain point. They got to be able to do that. And that's because of those parents' anxiety within themselves. It's very, 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 very hard for them to detach, because there's something inside of them, some anxiety, some unresolved issue that they haven't resolved yet. It's not about the child. It's about being able to recognize that the parent actually has issues themselves that they haven't maybe dealt with in their own childhood, maybe having a neglective parent, so they decided to go to the opposite end of the spectrum. You don't want to be a neglective parent, but you don't want to be an over-involved parent as well. You want to be right in the middle. But that's hard, because we've all been raised certain ways. We all had our different upbringings, and we don't get to decide how our parents are going to raise us. That's up to them. Hopefully they'll make the right decision, but yes, children of helicopter parents end up growing with a lot of detachment and a lot of resentment. I can understand why, but also be sympathetic towards those parents as well, because it's not completely their fault. It's also probably the way they were parented and raised as well. It's like that old saying that I want to give my children what I never had. And everybody who has children for the first time all feel the same way. Like, I never grew up with a proper male role model, so one day when I have children, I'm sure I'm going to want to what? Be the most involved father that I can be, but also be able to recognize and be able to check myself. I don't want to be a helicopter dad, right? No. My dad wasn't very involved at all in my life, so I want to be very involved, but I'll also have to be able to self-reflect and be able to look inside myself and be able to back off when I need to back off, because I don't want to create any detachment. I don't want to create any resentment, because for my own children, Being overly involved will create a lack of independence. But I need to learn to be able to back off from that. And so there's a balance to it. Don't be too hard on helicopter parents, because it's not always about you. It's also about them and issues that they haven't resolved. And it's important to be able to, if you're a child of helicopter parents, it's important to be able to set boundaries. Don't do it rude way, don't do it in a disrespectful way. Just hey, mom, dad, hey, I'm a grown up now, I can handle my own business. I want you in my life, but I don't need you involved in every little decision that I make. I'm okay, I can handle myself. I'm a big boy now, I'm a big girl. I can handle my business. I'm gonna go out there and attack the world. And just let them know. And that's it. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Logan Ryder, Timeless Personal Growth and Development. And I will be doing another video in the next week about lighthouse parenting. That's just actually a parenting topic that I just came upon. I think it was last night. I was doing some research last night and just came upon lighthouse parenting, which I thought was very interesting. Well, think about it. Think about a parent being a lighthouse. What does a lighthouse do? Reflect on that. And I'll be talking about lighthouse parenting in the next video. And I will see you all in another life. Have a great day.